Hi Pisces, welcome to February and happy Valentine's and happy birthday. So before I do your reading, let me call in some good energy, create some sacred space. Okay, so this month we have a full moon in Leo on the 9th. Then Mercury goes retrograde in your sign on the 16th. And it will be retrograde for the rest of the month, and it won't go direct until March. I'm sorry. And then we have a new moon in Pisces on the 23rd in your sign, in your first house. So let's see what the cards say, and we'll get into the astrology later. What is coming up for Pisces for the month of February in terms of love and relationship? What does Pisces need to know about love and relationships for the month of February 2020? What is coming up for Pisces in terms of love and relationships for the month of February 2020? Okay, let's see. The Eight of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords. The Eight of Swords. The Hangman. The Tower. The Four of Pentacles. The Nine of Cups. The Hierophant. The Two of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So, the Eight of Pentacles, you start the month off. You could be taking, this could be a career card where you're at the beginning stages, taking a new direction in your career path. But it could also mean that you're at the beginning stages of a new relationship. And you have to give it time. Don't try to rush things. I feel though it's a little bit of both, that you're thinking about taking your life in a new direction and making some major changes. You have the Queen of Swords here crossing. So you've been kind of cautious or unapproachable. Maybe you've been through a lot in the past, and this time around you're trying to make decisions based on logic rather than love. Like in the past, if you were thinking with your heart, letting your heart rule your head, I feel like this time around you're trying to make a decision based on facts and trying to see things clearly. You could be dealing with someone who's an air sign. That could be air, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And for some of you who are in a new relationship, it's the beginning stages. And it has the potential to really change your life in a major way. You may have felt trapped in the past because you have the Eight of Swords here. And you might have been in a relationship where your freedom was restricted, or you couldn't do everything you wanted to do, or maybe you were just afraid to move out of it. So you felt stuck. But at some point, you have this Hangman. You were like stuck in limbo. And the Hangman's about moving on to something, giving something up for something better. And you've been trying to make that decision. I feel like you've been trying to decide on a path to either stay in you might be in a relationship or even in a career situation where you feel like things have not been moving. Nothing's been, and it's because you haven't been able to make a decision. Because there is the potential to partner with someone. You have this Two of Swords here. This is a card of indecision, weighing the options, knowing that you have to decide, but choosing not to. You're like on the fence. You know that the choice will involve major change. A major change of lifestyle. A major change in the way, in everything. change in your relationship, change in your career path. Everything is changing because the Tower is here. The Tower on the one hand frees you from oppression. So if you've been feeling stuck or trapped, the Tower can free you from that. If you feel like your life's been kind of in a limbo state, like it's not moving, it's just kind of, you've just been treading water. I think it's probably because you don't want to let go of what you have. It's like the Four of Pentacles here is a card of someone holding on. Like, change. It's like you need to make some changes, but you're holding on. You're not ready. Maybe you're trying to control the outcome, or you want things to happen in a specific way. And if you're not, if it doesn't happen a certain way, it's not going to happen. Like you're waiting for a specific outcome, or you're trying to control the outcome. But this card is also saying you have to give to receive. Like you have to do something. You can't just sit and wait. You have to nudge change along. So I know that you got this wall built up around you, and you're kind of keeping people at a distance. So even though you want a relationship, you may be giving off the vibe of stay away. I'm not approachable. I'm not available. So people are just staying away. They're picking up on that vibe. But you can have what you want. You've got the Nine of Cups here. But it's in your fear sector. So you're afraid to reach out for it. You're afraid to take that chance. You're afraid to break free and make that change. I guess it's like one of those things, the devil you know is better than the one you don't know. That saying. You know what you've been doing and you know what's familiar, and changes can be scary. Because with the Tower is about breaking down and rebuilding, starting over from scratch. It's like you're at ground zero and you have to rebuild. Maybe a relationship has ended and you have a clean slate. You've got to rebuild from the wreckage. But you're not ready to do that. You're afraid to do that. Maybe you're afraid of whatever's involved in it, the work involved, or you're still recovering from the trauma of the past or something. I don't know. But the Hierophant is here. So whoever you're thinking about is someone that's very, could be a little stubborn, maybe a Taurus. Taurus or Scorpio, Pisces, water sign. You have the Queen of Cups here. And that could be you also. So you could be dealing with, either an air sign or an earth sign or even a water sign. But the person represented by the Hierophant is someone who's very stable, very conservative, maybe a little stuck in their ways. If it relates to a job, you're dealing with maybe a hospital or a government institution or something that they're not open to change, and you have to do things their way. It's very regimented, very rigid. And that can be a little bit frustrating. So maybe you're thinking of leaving a job that's too restrictive or too conservative or too stifling, but you don't want to give up your security. You're afraid to give up your security. And to do what you really want, what would bring you joy, would require major change. And you're not ready to do that. You're still deciding. You've got this Two of Swords here. This is being on the fence. Like, I don't know. It's like you're telling yourself, I want to know what the outcome is. I can't, even if there's someone that you're interested in, you're waiting. It's like I'm waiting for a sign. I'm waiting for them to show something so that I can take action or make a decision. You're afraid to just do it, like Nike. Just do it. So you're waiting. This is a stalemate. So there could be a situation where you're not talking to someone. You're interested in each other, but each person is waiting for the other person to make a move, so nothing's happening. But this relationship, if somebody could break the ice, if someone could just break free and say, okay, put themselves out there, not be afraid to be vulnerable, because you might be afraid of dropping your guard and being vulnerable and showing that vulnerability, because Pisces is a very sensitive sign. But Pisces often puts on this tough front, this hard exterior. It masks the inner core. You don't want people to know how sentimental you are, or how loving you really are, or how compassionate you are. You try to act tough so that, because you know you can't say no to anyone. You know that if someone comes to you with a sob story, you're just going to fall right in. You're a sucker. No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, because you want to save, you really care about people, and you want to help them, and you want to save people. If someone comes to you and they need help, you're the first person there with the chicken soup and the, here, let me help you. And the advice and listening, you're so compassionate. So Pisces a lot of times gets drained by that because you're always giving, giving, giving. So sometimes you have to keep people away. It's like, okay, I'm not even going to say hello to anybody. I just can't take, you have to recharge. So you put that front up, like stay away, because you know that you're just like a sponge. You're going to just absorb these people and their feelings and their, then you're going to come home with a headache and, all kinds of stuff because you're so empathic. But I feel like this is a decision that you have to make about a relationship. You're wondering, do I reach out or not? And you're waiting for a sign from someone else. Or you're hoping that they would reach out first. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that you're going to have to be the one to break the ice. And this could be the Queen of Cups. It could be you. But it could be someone that you're connecting with that's very intuitive, very sensitive too, just like you. And very artistic, spiritual, psychic. The Queen of Cups has a lot of compassion too. Maybe you're looking at the past and you're just afraid of going through another disaster. So you're kind of like just playing a wait and see game. I don't know. I think you need to break the ice if you want to have this Nine of Cups. But you don't have to rush into anything. You can take things slow. The Eight of Pentacles is about, slowly going down the path. You're learning. You're in a new environment. You're just going to take your time. Eventually, it can lead to a commitment or something solid. But for now, just enjoy life. Just take it one day at a time. Don't overthink it. The Queen of Swords can sometimes overthink things. So if you're dealing with that energy, you might be thinking too much when you should be coming from a place of the heart. You're coming from the head. You're trying to come from the head because Pisces, their hearts rule their heads. But sometimes you try to come from the head because you know that, that's the best way to do things sometimes. To look at the facts, do pros and cons and trying to make a decision. But in a month, you're going to be making a decision. You're going to have to make a decision within a month. And I think within a month, your wish is going to be fulfilled. Something is going to move. Something is going to shift in February. And you're going to find yourself in a good position. But don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to take a chance and make the change. Don't be afraid to break free. Because the Eight of Swords, this person thinks they're in a prison. They think they can't move. They think their options are limited. But there's nothing standing in the way. This person could just walk out and just walk into a new life if they could only overcome their fear of the outcome. Fear of okay, what happens if I do that? What's going to happen next? I want to know. Don't worry about the future. Just live in the moment. Take what you can get. Life is short. You can't waste time. You never know. So you have to live in the moment. You have to live for the now. You have the Nine of Cups, so whatever you're wanting to build, whatever you're wanting to get, receive, it's there for you. And it can lead to a major change in your life. That's a positive change, not just, it might be unsettling while you're going through it, but it's ultimately positive. It's ultimately going to give you what you want. So don't be afraid of it. So the full moon in Leo is happening in your 6th house. The moon is in the 6th, the sun is in the 12th. And Mars is racing through your 10th house in Sagittarius. So something's going on with your career, your work situation. With Mars in the 10th, you could be really putting a lot of energy in where you want to go, your life direction, your public image. You're really working on your career. Maybe you don't have time for love. But also, you're completing a cycle with this full moon because it's coming into the 12th house. It's involving the 12th house, which is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the last house on the wheel. So you're finishing something up. You're completing a cycle that really defined who you were. You know, you had a chance. So you're like preparing for a new cycle. Maybe you're changing jobs or changing your life in some way where you're going to be having a new identity. You're restructuring your life in some way. Whatever has been hidden is going to be revealed at this full moon, because the 12th house is involved, the 6th house. So it could be something around work. It could be something around something that you've been avoiding, something that you, like a psychological thing, something that you've been burying and not dealing with, not wanting to face. Maybe you've been feeling like being a hermit. You've been kind of keeping away from people. But that's going to start to change. It's just that your friendships have even been changing. You've got Saturn and Pluto in the 11th house. You're seeing the truth about the people you spend a lot of time with. And you're seeing, you're realizing that your friendships, your goals, your dreams, all that has to change. It's part of an old way of life that no longer makes sense. And now you're thinking, okay, now that I'm in this new reality, what do I want? Who do I want as a friend? What do I value? What dreams, what goals do I need to have now? Neptune and Mercury is in the first house, so you're kind of, you're being seen as someone very spiritual, very nurturing, very compassionate, especially in Pisces. But you may have a problem with communication. People are just not understanding what you're trying to convey. You might feel like you have to keep repeating yourself. It's like people aren't getting you. But this is a creative time for you. If you've ever wanted to do anything really creative and express yourself, something that really reflects who you are, now's the time to do it. With Neptune and Mercury in the first house, you have a message for the world. Get it out. Get it out there. Don't be afraid to communicate. Now, the new moon is happening in your first house. That could bring you, it can be like a new image. You want to present a new face to the world. You want to have a makeover. You care about the way people are seeing you. And you want to be seen in a certain way. And you have this opportunity to start something that's going to really change your life direction. At this point, at the new moon, Mars has moved over into the 11th house. So you might be meeting new friends. You might feel like, you know what, I need new friends. The old friends are not resonating with me anymore. I need new friends. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try and round up my troop, find my tribe. Uranus is in the 3rd house, and this new moon is favorable to Uranus, and so is Mars. Mars is trining Uranus. That could bring surprising developments around friendships, and the 3rd house is like relatives, neighbors, brothers and sisters. There could be some unexpected development that changes your goals in some way, changes your life path. Venus is in the 2nd house in Aries. So I feel like if you're having any kind of financial issues, Venus is going to help. It'll bring in financial support. But it's also going to help you to go after what you want in terms of love and money. Because Venus in Aries is impatient energy. It's like, let's get her done. Get her done. I want it yesterday. It's not really, Venus isn't comfortable in Aries, but if it's operating through that Aries filter, Venus is like, come on, let's get together. Let's get it on, But the Emperor, the Eight of Pentacles is saying, take it slow. And with Mercury retrograding, where is Mercury? You can, be connecting with people from the past relationships, past friendships. Jupiter is in your 11th house. It's bringing luck to all your partnership, your friendships, and your goals. Jupiter also rules, the 11th house also rules the money that you earn from your business. So you're getting financial support from many angles. So don't worry about money. Here, like this person is trying to hold on to their coins, they have this scarcity mentality. It's like, I have to, like, it's like you're wanting to be loved before you give your heart away. You want to see that person love you first. And sometimes that's not going to happen. You have to take a risk. Without great risk, there is no great reward. And especially when it comes to love. You have to put your heart out there. You can't play it safe in love. I mean, if you respect the person, you like the person, just go for it. But don't wait for them to come to you. You might be waiting forever. So that's what I have to say, Pisces. I hope this reading was... you're on the edge of a major change. And one that can bring you everything you want. But you have to make a decision. Get off the fence. Take action. And you'll be surprised what the outcome is. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, Pisces. If you'd like a private reading, just click on the link in the description box. In the meantime, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting this channel by liking, subscribing, commenting, ordering readings. I appreciate all of you, and I thank you for your support. So Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you're new, welcome. Have a wonderful Valentine's. Have a happy birthday. Have a wonderful February. And I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.